Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Wood Home. In today's video, I'm going to be attempting to make strawberry vinegar. This is not a strawberry infused vinegar, it's vinegar made from strawberries. I didn't even really know this was a thing until I saw an Instagram post by Tanya over at the Wild Carrot Farmstead, and I thought that's just amazing, so I'm gonna try it. So I will link her video talking about making vinegars in the description of this video, and I'll put a link to her Instagram reel where I saw this interesting concept originally. So I did have to do some conversions because she uses a gallon jar and I don't have that here in Canada, and I'm using a much smaller quantity anyways. So hopefully I did the math right, but I'll show you what I've done so far. All right, so I've got my 1 liter canning jar, and I've already filled it with strawberry tops. So this method uses strawberry tops that still have some fruit on them and the leaf part. I just slice them off when I'm making jam anyways, and I usually just give them to my chickens, but I thought, why not try something different this year? So this recipe doesn't say how much to use, how many strawberry tops to use, but I used about 12 cups worth of whole berries to get these tops. So I've got my 12 cups of strawberries in my pot to make jam, and then all the tops just went in here. Of course, not every single strawberry had a top on it, but regardless, this is about 12 cups worth of strawberry tops with a little bit of fruit and the leaves left on. I didn't pack these really tight, they're just kind of loose in here. And as I said, I did have to do some conversions for making the brine part of the vinegar. So if I understand correctly, basically what we're going to do is make a sugar water brine, and we're going to cover the strawberry tops with it. We'll put a fermenting weight on top so that none of the fruit is floating above the surface of the water, because when it floats above the surface, it can get moldy and mold will ruin your ferment. While this is sitting here with our water and sugar brine, it is being converted into alcohol, and then the alcohol converts into vinegar. So it's pretty much the same as when I make apple cider vinegar, but different because we're not using apples, we are using strawberry tops. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to turn out. I have to wait 4 to 6 weeks, which seems like a long time, but that's okay. I'll just put it in the basement and check on it every so often just to make sure it's not going moldy. If it's going moldy, it's going straight in the compost pile. Otherwise, we're gonna wait until we have a really nice strawberry vinegar. I think it'll taste like strawberry, obviously, but if I'm judging based on how my apple cider vinegar tastes, I think it could also taste kind of sweet and not quite as sour as store-bought vinegars. I think what I'll end up using it for is just like salad dressings or maybe marinating some meat. I haven't decided exactly how we'll use it, but I know that we definitely will. I'm also hoping that it turns out kind of pinkish because that would just be really pretty. So let me get my brine solution ready. I've got my water. It's hot, but just hot from the tap, so it hasn't boiled. And I'm going to use about 2 cups of water. And again, hoping that my calculations are right, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of sugar for a 1 liter size canning jar. We in Canada don't really have gallon size jars, at least none that I've ever found. So instead of trying to find a container that is about a gallon and that I could successfully put a fermentation weight into, I decided to just use a 1 liter mason jar. I'm gonna do my water first, and if I need to do a little bit more water, then I can do that. I'm just gonna get a little bit more, so it'll end up being just over 2 cups. going to do 2 rounded spoonfuls of sugar, tablespoons of sugar, and I'm just using granulated white sugar because that's what I have. And maybe a little bit more because those weren't quite rounded. I don't think I need to mix the sugar in, but maybe I will a little bit just with this metal skewer. Okay, now I'm gonna go get my fermentation weight and put that on top. I've got this metal coil that is a fermenting weight. It's by Ball brand, and it came with some jars that have this little silicone seal so that gas can escape the container, but nothing gets into the container, like no dirt or bugs or anything. It's pretty easy to use. You just push it in and it presses down all the pieces in there, and then the lid just gets screwed on. I'm seeing some pieces of the strawberry are floating up above the coil, but they're not above the surface of the water, so I think that's going to be okay. I'm sure you could tell I'm not an expert in ferments at all, by no stretch of the imagination. I do not ever claim to be. I have been making apple cider vinegar for a while, and I've attempted to make sauerkraut a few times, and it's been successful sometimes, not successful other times. So this video is not me giving you a tutorial. It is me following somebody else's tutorial and just sharing my experience with that with you. I'm also hopeful that you will follow Tanya's recipe and her method and make some vinegar for yourself. If you decide to do that, please let me know in the comments. I will be doing an update video about my vinegar to see how it's coming along, so be sure you're subscribed to my channel for that. And if in 4 to 6 weeks we have successfully made strawberry vinegar, I'll be posting a video about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you find it interesting and are encouraged to make your own strawberry vinegar. Be sure that you are subscribed to my channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss my update videos. And of course, check out Tanya's video about how to actually make this properly. I'll link that in the description of my video. And you can also check out the reel on Instagram where I first saw this fascinating idea.